Hey guys, happy 2024, happy New Year's. It is January 6th, so 6 days into 2024, and I wanted to do a winter book recommendations video. Last January and February, I read so many books, or I read like 5 books last January, which was pretty good for me. That's kind of like, I think 5 or 6 is probably as most as I've read in a month. And one of them was A Court of Silver Flames, which is like a 700-page book, I think, or so. So I was reading a lot, and I wanted to just throw out my favorite books in case anyone wanted like a good wintry book recommendation. Okay, so first book is kind of more of a self-help book, and I just reread it for the second time, The Year of Less. It's a book that follows a girl as she does this challenge to herself to try to like not spend any money on new things, and she gets rid of a bunch of stuff, and then she like only buys stuff if she needs it, like if it's on her, she has like a list of approved things that she'll buy, like replacing shampoo. The book was very inspiring to me because I kind of wanted to spend less money this winter as I'm not really doing as much, and just try to be more mindful of my consumerism. So if you're kind of looking for a good book to start the year to help you get rid of things and maybe buy less things, it's kind of like a good mix of that and just like figuring out what's really important in your life. I recommend for sure. Read it twice now. And then I wanted to go through these 2 books that I read last winter that I really liked. Look how cute they look together. Like, I can't get over how aesthetically pleasing they look. Like, this to me is like winter vibes. The first book, The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This book is about a bunch of couples that go and stay in this kind of like snowy resort, and then I think there's a snowstorm, so they can't leave and they're stuck there, and someone ends up dying. It's like the timeline changes from a now and like a few days in the future, and I think also maybe in the past too, so it's like all building up, and then in the end you figure out who died and like why. I gave this book 3.5 stars, but I think it's just because I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and that was like one of my favorite books of 2022. So I was really expecting this book to be like just like The Guest List, and it didn't meet my standards, but it was still a very good wintry book that I still think about. So I recommend this book. Next is Rock, Paper, Scissors. This is such a good book. I just talked about this book in my favorite book video of 2023. I gave this book 5 stars because it was very quick paced and I read it very, very quickly. It's a really good book to like get you out of a reading rut too. I haven't read any other books by this author, but I honestly should look into it because this book was so good. It's about this couple that they like win a contest to go stay in this church, and the church is kind of like a place that people stay, kind of like an Airbnb type of deal. The husband has face blindness, and then the wife just doesn't feel seen by him, and it's like spooky vibes when they get there. One of the spouses is keeping things from another spouse, so things are developing. It's a church in Scotland weekend trip. Hey BB. I love this book. I definitely recommend it. The next book that I wanted to recommend is The Silent Patient. I actually gave this book to a friend to read because I loved it so much. I read this book in 2022, which was really when I was able to start reading more because I had finished nursing school and I was like working and able to like start reading more in my free time. And this book was like one of the first books that I picked up that I loved. So it holds a special place in my heart. It's basically about husband and wife, and the wife comes home and shoots her husband 5 times and then never says anything ever again, and she's like admitted to a mental hospital. There's a psychotherapist that's captivated by her story and wants to work with her. The book goes from present and then the woman's diary, back and forth through different chapters. It also Takes place in London. It's a British author. It's just really good. I don't even know like how to explain. Then I just fully recommend it. 5-star book for sure. I know a lot of these are like thrillers, but honestly, I feel like wintry vibe, cold, snow thriller could be the vibe for this year. Next on the list is Misery by Stephen King. I haven't read this book. I read the first few pages and it sounded good, but I hadn't fully gone through it yet. I really love the cover of it though. Like, it's so artistic to me. And as you can tell, this is another like snowy book. This is about a guy who gets in a car wreck and he's an author, and then this nurse woman finds him, and instead of like taking him to be fixed, she takes him to her house to fix him up herself, but she's like kind of obsessed with him because she's his biggest fan, and she wants him to finish his like series or novel and wants to kind of alter how he's writing it. So she's kind of like doing weird nursey things that you probably shouldn't do, like kind of torture-y, I guess. And I started it and it sounded good, but it was a little bit hard for me to read as a nurse, to read someone like purposely being cruel to a person. But I've heard like this book does have a lot of good ratings, so I wanted to recommend it. Let me know if you read it. I want to read it. It might be easier for me to do the audio of it. I don't know. So lastly, I just wanted to go through what I'm currently reading, which is Wrong Place, Wrong Time. I got this book for Christmas from my friend, and it's a Reese's Book Club book. Also, real quick, I got this bookmark for Christmas, and it's so cute. Book Lovers Club. So this book is about a mom who watches her son shoot a random guy, and then she goes to bed that night, and it just keeps going back in time until she can alter what happened to fix the situation. But she's kind of like also trying not to mess too much with time. So it's very interesting. I'm on page 63 and I like just started it and haven't gotten that much into it. And then I'm also listening right now to the Tower of Dawn book on Audible, which is a pretty long book, so I'll probably be listening to this for a while. And this is just the Throne of Glass, second to last book in the series. So that's what I'm currently listening to at the moment, and those are my book recommendations. If you guys have any, leave them down in the comments below and let me know if you end up reading any of these books. Let me know. Have a good cozy winter. Do something fun for yourself. Go ice skating, drink some hot chocolate, buy yourself some mittens. And I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next time. This is the side view for cameraman.